Alright, so hi everyone, welcome back to our next investor series, and this time I want to talk about using the land cost PSF method to determine whether should I buy a new development or a resale one.
Wealth management and money installment at 1.88%. How to select the right property to buy. 1 km. 1 km. Yeah, let me check.
Alright, so welcome back. The question of whether buying a new development or a resale one, there are many different perspectives and school of thoughts, and of course some buyers prefer definitely to buy a brand new development because some people just don't like the feeling that someone has stayed in the house before. In terms of preference, there are also preferences on the logic of whether a new launch development has a little bit more potential compared to a resale 99 years versus a brand new 99 years project if we were to compare apple to apple. So if let's say you are thinking of whether should you look at a new one versus a resale one in the same district, and in terms of size you're struggling, like the new one probably if you were to get a 3-bedder is definitely a bit smaller compared to a 3-bedder resale in the same vicinity. You could get a larger size unit. By using this method called the land cost PSF, it is another perspective in helping you to decide should you go for a new or a resale. So this is just another school of thought that we would like to introduce to you, and you can decide for yourself end of the day whether based on this land cost PSF method plus other preferences in terms of layout, size, having that newness in the new launch development, better facilities compared to the resale one. Of course, in terms of size and layout, there is also a bit of sacrifice here and there for the new one versus the resale one. So let's talk a little bit more about the land cost PSF. Right, so if I were to bring out the chart, alright, we actually have this method whereby sometimes we want to see is the gap between the per square foot actual pricing of the resale versus the brand new one, is there a huge significant difference? And then from there we want to see, does it then make sense for us to buy the new one or go into the resale older property? Alright, so let's take a comparison for illustration purpose. Resale project, 3-bedroom, asking price 1.35 million, size is fantastic, 1324 square feet. The tenure date is 1997. The TOP date is year 2001. So take note that you always have to look for the tenure date. Do not look at the completed TOP date. Alright, so you have to look because the 99 years starts running from the tenure. So for this case, 1997, brand new development, 3-bedroom, price is at 1.35 million as well. So it's the same quantum. So we use it for comparison purpose. Size is 1001 square feet. Tenure 2018. Right now we're in year 2019. So technically speaking, this resale has a balance lease of 77 years. This brand new one has a balance lease of 98 years. By the time this is completed, probably in another 2 to 3 years time, you will have a balance lease of about 96 years left, or 95 years. So based on today's calculation, if I were to take the balance lease 77 and 98, and then I were to take the purchase price of 1.35 million, divide by the balance lease, and I multiply back to the full 99 years lease, what would I see in terms of the full price based on 99 years? I would see that the resale one is at 1.735 million, the new one is at 1.363 million. And if I were to take that full price divided by the square feet size to get the per square foot pricing, the resale one would then give me a per square foot price of 1310 per square foot, and the brand new one is at 1362 per square foot. Alright, so based on this calculation method, then I will have to decide, hey, does it then make sense for me to buy the resale one or the new one? Because the per square foot pricing based on a full 99-year pricing is actually only about $50 difference. Would it then make sense for me to buy something with a balance lease of 77 years? Or does it then make sense to probably go into a new one with a balance lease of 90 over years, and I'm getting a brand new product when I stay with TOPs and I get the keys, I'm the first person to stay inside, it's brand new. I can also choose to sell it with TOPs, or after I stay a few years I can choose to sell it and it's new, facilities are new and stuff like that. Or does it then make sense for me to buy this one with a bigger interior size and floor plan at 1324 square feet for my family? So if you have a very close per square foot gap, then sometimes you have to decide for yourself whether does it then make sense to weigh a little bit more to that new launch one, because in a sense the per square foot is very close. But of course, if the per square foot based on a full 99-year pricing has a huge difference, for example, if this resale is at $1 million, 1324 square feet, and then this one is at $1.35 million, 1001 1 square feet, then perhaps it might then make sense to go for the resale one if you have a so-called a certain requirement in terms of an investment amount that you want to put in. Let's say you just want to restrict to $1 million, you want to go for low per square foot pricing, and after multiplying back to the full 99-year amount, actually there's a huge difference in terms of per square foot pricing. So it might then make sense in this case. So let's have a look. If this is at $1 million, 1324 square feet, balance 77 years, based on full 99 years pricing, the actual PSF is actually 971 compared to this one, which is at 1350 per square foot. So if there's a significant difference, if let's say you're comfortable with a resale older property, then by all means go ahead for that one, because there's a huge difference, and since it's at the same area, same district, same vicinity, there could be potential for it to slowly creep up as years goes by, as economy goes by, and for this to have a bit of appreciation growth as well. Alright, so we hope that this land cost PSF method will help you. This is just another perspective. By all means, there are many different schools of thought, so this is just one of them. We hope that this episode helps you. See you soon.